Ba-da-da-da, we're the people that do the thing.
Yes. A well-known legend centered around the Bankhead National Forest that began in 1860s is the story of Aunt Jenny Johnson. She and her husband raised 10 children while running a tavern and inn. Her husband gave aid to several Union men and Confederate deserters who would hide throughout the surrounding forests and hills. The Home Guard Patrol approached their home either to draft their son for war or to punish her husband for their traitorous acts. Guard lynched Jenny's husband to a tree, and while he was hanging there, their oldest son rushed up to stop his father's death and was shot by the Home Guard. They then hanged and shot his father and rode away on the horse. Legend has it that Jenny made all of her children join her in taking a blood oath with their father's blood, pledging not to rest until every one of the 8 members of the Home Guard that murdered her husband and oldest son were killed. It is said that the first shooter, the leader of the Home Guard, and made a soap dish out of his skull, then trained her children to shoot proficiently and set out on her revenge. Her sons hunted down several of the men, but eventually all of her sons died of bullet wounds from seeking out their father's revenge. Aunt Jenny Johnson had a wounded cane in which she had cut a notch with every death of the opposed members. Her sons brought back to her. 7 of the 8 men of the Home Guard were killed, and the last one disappeared when he got a word Jenny and her sons were after his life. She died at the age of 98, outliving all but one of her children. On her deathbed, she told how proud she was of her sons for dying like men. People surrounding areas have passed down the historic legends of Aunt Jenny Johnson from generation to generation. There are many stories in which people park their cars at her old home and place as she will supposedly come up to their car and tell them to get off her property, threatening to take their lives too if they don't leave, then disappearing into thin air. People claim to have seen a green light moving around the land and hear footsteps. She is said to appear in cars of passengers on Halloween night. There are many different stories that have been added to the actual historical evidence made up along the road to entice others or to warn people to avoid the forest in the middle of the night. My advice, do it, but bring a knife.
That's some great advice. Thank you. That was the story of Aunt Jenny Johnston.
Make sure to give her a kiss if she tries to kill you.
Yep, always kiss the lady. Goodbye.
A well-known legend centered around...
Sorry.
I can't even get past the first word. And her husband raised 10...
Maybe I should leave.
A fly just tried to go into my ear.
Oh, we're still recording.
The Home Guard Patrol.
The Home Guard Paw Patrol.
The Home Guard Patrol approached their home either to draft their son.
You made me laugh. The way you hesitated on home. Their home.
She and her husband raised 10 children while running a tavern in the inn. Her husband had gabba-dooba-da.
Stop!